Welcome back, everybody. It's Sport Federation TV. We keep talking sport in the province, and well, as you know, Lifesaving has been on the show with us on a number of occasions. We've spoken to, well, more recently, Sean Gordon, the president of Western Cape Lifesaving, and specifically about the drowning prevention and water program. So Lifesaving doing some incredible stuff, folks, not only from a social perspective, but also to help you out there. But for those of you that don't really focus on it too much, the competitive aspect of Lifesaving is one of the elements that helps the athletes, of course, help you. And on the line with me now is Andrew Crook. He is the Lifesaving coach at Fishhook. Andrew, great to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be on the show and for the betterment of the public.
So Andrew, just tell us a little bit about, before we get going into the competition elements, Western Cape Lifesaving, obviously very active, as we know. Summer's been back. I mean, you guys must be back at full steam now.
Yes, it was, the crowds are starting to come back. I think people are, unfortunately, or are starting to become less and less worried about the COVID and the pandemic that's happening. Yeah. And about 6 weeks ago, I think all the beaches around the Western Cape were chock-a-block, ridiculous. I mean, more so than I've seen in probably almost in my lifetime at Fishhook and at Strand. So yeah, public are definitely getting out there. So busy time for lifeguards patrolling and doing duties.
You've got 22 clubs across the Western Cape. Obviously, they must have all been quite busy as well, not just doing duties, but also starting to prepare for your competitive season.
Yes, our competitive season, well, we've had a couple of smaller carnivals, which are competition. Carnival is the name that they use instead of a competition, that we've been fortunately been able to have during the pandemic recently. But we're leading into our provincial championships over the next 3 weekends, and then our nationals in about a month's time.
So would you have had, at this stage of the year, would you have had an increase in membership? I mean, when's the sort of the window period for registration? When do moms and dads get their children started with Lifesaving?
Okay, for the nippers, generally we try and do it more November, well, more December time, because it's a bit cold for the youngsters to come. The children that are young, let's say the 9, 10, 13-year-olds, it becomes a bit cold for them, so they try and do that. And then you've got to qualify, even as a nipper, you've got to be able to do a certain distance in a pool for a safety aspect, exercises and certain basic first aid. So that's finished now, because obviously getting to the business end is a bit difficult to try and do education and sport and trying to manage everything at the same time. While on the Lifesaving side, on the senior side, where you're talking 15-year-olds up to adults and that, it's an ongoing thing throughout the year, because it takes quite a bit of time to do it. And do we find that during our winter period, it's the easiest time to do it. It might be cold and freezing for the youngsters or people qualifying, but it's the easier period and quieter period for the clubs to cope with that.
Andrew, when we think about coaching, we obviously think about the big sports that we see on TV. Lifesaving South Africa has had a lot of success around the world, a couple of world championship titles as well. And we know our Western Cape athletes are always doing very well when they're competing in the championships. As a Lifesaving coach, how much does coaching Lifesaving vary from coaching other sports like athletics or swimming or rugby?
How does it vary? It's a very dynamic sport. So there are various aspects to it. You've got the beach side of it, you've got swimming side of it, and you've got the craft side of it. All of the races within a Lifesaving competition are generally there to help keep the athletes fit and ready for rescues. And a lot of the races are designed for a simulated rescue or some form of what you would use in a rescue, so that you can upskill and be better, more proficient at doing rescues. So it's quite a varied skill to become to become a top-class lifesaver and all-rounder, to be able to do the beach work, and then to be a very strong swimmer and a board paddler and a ski paddler, takes a lot of time and effort to get to that level, for sure.
So when we think lifesaving, we're always thinking about lifesavers being on the beach, sprinting on the beach, swimming in the ocean. But one of your big events that you've also got is pool championships. And in fact, tell us a little bit about pool championships. We see you've got a lifesaving pool championships at the Strand Pavilion coming up.
Yeah. Okay, so that's happening this weekend. That's freshwater or stillwater lifesaving championships, the Western Cape Championships, being held at the Strand Pavilion Pool. It is a varied events. Once again, trying to simulate rescues that would happen in a pool environment, and similar to what happens in the sea with regards to if you're picking up somebody that's drowned from below water. They're no longer on the surface of the water, so you pick them up and carry or drag them to the side of the pool in a lane. Or if they're a conscious patient on the surface of the water, we use a wraparound tube that allows us to clip them in and tow them once again to the end of the pool. And then there's also a obstacle race where there are 2 obstacles in a 50-meter pool, basically equal distance apart, that you've got to swim underneath. So basically stimulating if there's an obstacle in the way, that you'd swim underneath a boat to rescue somebody and come up and swim the other side. And varied distances. And they also, with the drown, and that we use a uniform, a piece of equipment. It's called a dummy. It's a mannequin, which is for seniors is about 70 kgs when it's full of water. And that's when it's below the surface. If it's one where we assuming that's a conscious patient, it's half filled with water, and that comes out to 5 kilograms. And then for the nippers and that we have baby dummies and medium dummies as well, because it's a bit unfair to ask a 14-year-old to try and tow a 70 kg dummy that's almost twice their weight. So it varies. It's very, very interesting, and it's in a controlled environment, so you can always do the freshwater. There's never an issue really doing with freshwater lifesaving. With lifesaving, the elements of nature come into play there. Time.
And you've got the Western Cape Surf Lifesaving Champs at Clifton coming up next weekend. Are the athletes ready? Have you got any idea which club is going to come out on top?
Yes, the athletes hopefully are ready. I mean, it's not for a change we've been able to plan, and we are looking forward to it due to the pandemic. So are the athletes ready? Yes, they are. I think with regards to clubs, I think Clifton are the reigning national champions in seniors and juniors from last year. They had a postponed nationals instead of April last year or March. They postponed it out to August, and Clifton went out and won that for the first time in their history. So congrats to them. I think it's been a tight run race this season in the smaller carnivals, but everything to play for Western Province Champs, because it's over 2 days. There's a lot more events and a lot more team events that don't happen normally at the carnivals just due to time constraints. So it's going to be interesting champs. I don't know, also got some very good field. Milnerton and Big Bay have started coming up and producing some very fine athletes. So I'm looking forward to seeing the varied results from the different clubs.
Andrew, we'll leave it at that. And I think we know that you guys are having fun and very much high performance based, but just want to say from our side as the public, the debt of gratitude and how grateful we are to you guys for always looking after us on the beach, the dams, the rivers, and the pools. And a big thanks from our side.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, JP. I think just that the public, if they want to, they come to Strand Pavilion this weekend. Come and watch a bit of the pool lifesaving if they want to find out about it and see what it is all about. Or next weekend at Clifton, Saturday, Sunday, and the following for the nippers. They're welcome to come down and watch lifesaving. It's a great sport, and it teaches the youngsters and everyone the value of safety and water awareness, and helps them down the road. Always puts you in a good spot to be a qualified lifesaver.
Absolutely. Andrew, thanks. We'll leave it at that, and we'll catch up with you again soon. There we go, folks. Andrew Crook, surf lifesaving coach at Fisher Lifesaving Club. Been in the game a long time and understands it Lifesaving inside out. And remember, as he said, now you can get down to Clifton Beach. Well, in fact, you can get down to Clifton, the Strand Pavilion this weekend to go and watch the pool championships. Then get down to Clifton next week to watch the surf champs, and again at Clifton to watch the Nippers next month on the 5th and 6th of March. It's a fantastic opportunity for you to watch some sport. It's open air. It's on the beach. You don't have to worry about too many other things. You can just go and simply watch your favorite athletes. And in this case, go and watch the Lifesavers. That's a wrap from us then this evening, folks. We will see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic sporting weekend. Bye-bye.